Hello, my U-Turn family. Welcome to the U-Turn Show. If you are new, this is a platform for empowering our communities through impactful conversations, real life stories, and resources for youth and women. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we gather here to spotlight voices that challenge limits and those that reminds us that real change begins the moment we choose to turn in a new direction, to make a U-turn. So, if you are navigating change in your life, looking for clarity, or building the next big thing, you belong here. So, share this conversation and stick with us as we begin the real talk, real growth, real U turn.
Hello, our beautiful viewers. My name is 𝗍𝗶𝗃𝗏, and I am ultra happy and super excited to lead today's discussion. So today's discussion is gonna be one of the greatest discussion ever here on this platform. Because guess what? We are talking about mind. We are talking about how our thoughts affects our daily behaviors. And today we are joined by engineer 𝗠𝗵𝗱𝗃𝗏𝗏. So he's the one who is going to take us through the discussion, which is titled The Power of Positive Mind, Transforming Your Life and Transforming Your Thoughts. That's the discussion that we are going to do. Dear ladies and gentlemen, especially our new viewers, for those who do not know Engineer 𝗠𝗵𝗱𝗃𝗏𝗏, he has his bachelor's in computer science, software engineering, I mean, from University of Baraton. He also has two masters, one from Mandela and one from CMU Africa, and he's currently pursuing his PhD. So above and beyond that, he also had the Department of Computer Science, University of Upper Nile. He's also the CEO and the director of Community Computing Academy. So it is a privilege and an honor to have him today with us, to discuss with us, and to share with us his knowledge that he has accumulated over the years. So Engineer Thon, you are highly welcome. And without any further ado, I guess we will dive in straight to discussion of today's topic. So, as I have said before, our discussion is going to revolve around thoughts and positive mindset. So, the first question that I would like to ask our able engineer to spark some level of knowledge onto it, it is this question. So, engineer, what does having a positive mindset truly mean to you? And why is it important in today's changing world?
All right, thank you, U-Turn family, for having me again here on this platform as we focus on using thoughts to transform our lives. Yes, that is a very wonderful question. What is a thought? We have so many things that we can discuss around that, but what we need to know is that there is this idea of James Allen. He just precisely puts it that the mind is just like a garden. So what you choose to plant there is what is going to grow. So as God has given everyone an opportunity to grow, God has given each person an architectural design on how your life should look like. But now daily, we use our thoughts now to either to accomplish that architect that has been given to us, or to destroy it, or we live less than what has been given. Like if you let me just give you an example. We have some of the tallest buildings somewhere in the world. So here in Juba, we have Equatorial Tower. Equatorial Tower before, it was similar architectural design. It was not talking about the materials. It was not talking about the rest of the things. It was just a design on how Equatorial Tower would look like, including the view, even let's say some of the cars which are going to be in front, and how beautiful it will look like, including some of the let's say flowers and all that. But now it will remain in that design if it was not actualized. Somebody, the company has to come up and now put all these materials together to actualize the design. So that is how it is with us as human beings. God has already designed. That's why He says that I have a plan for you, plan to succeed. There is that architectural design that God is very happy and is willing that we can maximize our potential. But now it comes with what thoughts do we have to accomplish that? Do we have thoughts of hope? Do we have thoughts of faith? Do we have thoughts of courage? Or are we sowing seeds of fear and doubt? Depending on the materials we are using, that will actually determine whether we will be able to reach that. So there are cases where I used to think that negative thinking is for the bad people, for the crooked, and for those criminals and all that. But I realized that that's not the case. Negative thinking is not that bad thing that has been, let's say, named. It is that thing that does not contribute to what God has designed your life to be. Anything that does not make you materialize, anything that does not make you realize, let's say, building that architectural design to have that physical infrastructure of the design, that one is actually negative. If I go to 5 when I'm to 6, that I'm actually thinking negative. So those weeds, those negative thoughts, which always keep people behind, that you find somebody should be progressing every day, that is negative thinking. But positive thinking is simply saying that I am hopeful, isn't it? Faith and courage. As we discussed one of the things earlier on, we said to be hopeful means that things are not easy, isn't it? Because there is no hope if there are no challenges. There is no faith if there's no disbelief. And there is no courage if things are just straightforward. We all have all these things because they tell us that, yes, things are not the way they are, but there is a possibility. So positive mindset is simply coming from the thoughts of, I am not enough to succeed. I don't have enough education to succeed. By saying that, you are sowing those seeds in your life. So every time your brain goes to look for the answers to ensure that you do not succeed. If you are sowing seeds saying that, I came from a poor background, so I will also be poor, you are also sowing those seeds of poverty, isn't it? If you're simply saying that, okay, because of this generation economic crisis and all to do with leadership and all that, you are actually sowing seeds. But somebody else is sowing seeds of positivity, saying that I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. Do you think Paul was doing well? No, Paul was not doing well. He was being affected, going through, let's say, persecution. But it began to sow the seeds of positivity. In Jesus Christ, we are more than conquerors. You see that? But you see, he was going to jail. And actually, most of his time was spending in prison. But you see, we are more than conquerors. It's actually the seeds of positivity in this case. Then says that who the good work in you will accomplish. Is it that? So what we are talking about here is that how you choose to add that value every day so that you can reach that level. Those are positive thoughts. The world is dependent on thoughts. This technology is not just anything else, it is somebody as a result of thoughts, isn't it? Anything that we see, including the food we eat and the style in which it is prepared, those are thoughts, isn't it? Anything that we see around, those are simply thoughts. The political views are thoughts. So in fact, the world is being ruled, is being managed by thoughts. If you get an aeroplane, it was one time some idea, a thought in somebody's mind, but now that thought has to be realized. So every day, as a person sows the seeds of progress, progress eventually comes. Seeds of hope, seeds of courage, then that actually pushes that person forward. But if a person chooses to sow the seeds of disbelief, what will thrive is a disbelief. So somebody's mind is simply like a garden. Anything that you put in there is what will thrive. And so since I have chosen to sow the seeds of hopefulness, you also choose the same. The seeds of faith, you also sow the seeds of faith. The seed that I can be somebody, I can maximize my potential. That is what we should be. Because as we look at the garden, there are two competing, let's say, plants. Those which are for the weeds, you don't need a lot of encouragement for them to grow. Anybody who puts fertilizers for the weeds to grow, no. By the virtue they are weeds, they will grow, isn't it? And so these competing factors here, we ensure that we every day we are sowing seeds of positivity, and that is something that that is a thing that even Jesus Christ himself said. He said, if you look at the woman lustfully, initially, they used to say that after a woman or a man is caught in adultery, that is when Moses' commandments now, the laws of Moses would apply to that man. But Jesus said, no, I'm not looking at the act, physical implementation. I'm looking at the thoughts. If you look at a woman lustfully, you have committed adultery. So Jesus is actually saying that, if you have those thoughts are living. It's just a matter of taking the tools now and then you begin to implement. So someone who thinks of committing adultery now has already committed it, but what he simply do now is to carry the body to implement the thinking. And that's why it is very important to be sowing the seeds of positivity. As I wind up on this part, there's this woman who was bleeding for 12 years. And when he said, if I can touch him, I will get well. You see, look at the power of thinking. The miracle took place at the point she thought of, if I can touch him, I will get well. And then the physical implementation of the getting well is what was happening when he touched Jesus. So thoughts are powerful. And that's when even the Bible says that, and God says, let there be this, and it happens. So it is only through positive thoughts where we can really, every day we sow seeds which will either take us forward or at times can even mine us. But the encouragement that is in us always, that God who has done all those good things in our lives can accomplish all that. So we are more than conquerors, and that is to say, your life, my life, is an architectural design that has been given by God, and it can be accomplished. But now, what will determine is what seeds do we sow every day. When we sow the seeds of hope, we will be actually developing that architectural design to its reality. Sowing the seeds of courage, sowing the seeds of faith, sowing the seeds of I can, sowing the seeds of it is possible, sowing the seeds of how can I do it? Instead of saying it is not possible, you say, how can I do it? Telling our brains that we have the capability to do that. So precisely that is how I am looking at positive thinking in terms of thoughts. And at the end, when we have all done this, we'll be reaping peace, we'll be reaping resilience, and we'll actually be reaping success. Because whatever we see as success is not actually success. It is recognition of success. You just look at somebody that's just graduated and is in a gown and say, this person has succeeded, congratulations. We should be congratulating this person every time he or she attends the lectures. Every time he or she submits the assignment. So those accumulation of everything we do, every step we actually sowing seeds, that will end up at the point of reaping what we have been sowing. And so all of us, we have the fertile gardens. And so let us sow the seeds of faith, hope, and courage. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Engineer Thon, for your thoughtful answers and for sharing with us your expertise. It is indeed, our minds or our lives, they are like garden. If you sow the seeds of negativity, you will eventually reap it. If you sow the seed of positivity, if you keep all your mindset to be positive always, you will eventually and you will really reap what you have sown. And our mind is kind of funny, when you speak about negative thing, or if your mindset is full of negativity, those negativity, they always yield faster, unlike the positivity at some point. So let's refrain from that and let's keep our mind, in a way that is positive, and by that we can excel in whatever thing that we do. So thank you once again, engineer. So now let's move to the next question. And this question is related to our daily behavior. So how do our daily thoughts, influence the decision we make and the life we ultimately build? I think engineer is having some internet issues, and he's going to get us on the way. So, Philip, let's still dissect what Ton has been really sharing, because there was someone who was preaching to us in Highland Seventh-day Adventist Church, and he said that whenever you think about something, you have already created a channel. Okay. If you repeat it, that channel will go deeper, deeper, and deeper. And that channel will always facilitate that exact thought. So, what is your thought actually about our thinking and the way we do thing as we wait for engineer thought? Let's just discuss about this and we see what we can get. Thank you.
Yes, Anton is back. So I just wanted to echo what he said about the thinking and about our mind being a garden, and also echoing what your pastor said, that when a thought comes to your mind, it's not by accident, right? Everything, even here, the U-turn we are on today was a thought. Someone thought, why can't we make a platform called U-turn? It came as a thought first, and then it constantly, keep coming. And then when we share the ideas together, now it's okay, we can actually make something. And here it is. So I believe in that everything we see, all the beautiful towers we see, all the aeroplane we fly in, all the universities we go to, even the headphone that engineer 𝗍𝗲𝗿 has was a thought. Someone just thought we have this. So I really, really like this topic, and it is helping me to reflect about and even feel bad about some of many thoughts that have come to my mind that are great, that I have not acted on, right? That could have been different form right now that people can visibly see, right? Even as being a human being, it's a thought. It's my dad came tomorrow and said, I love you. And my mom said, oh, I love you. That was a thought. And then it became a person like all of us here. So I want to give it back to you, but I'm really enjoying this. And all the negative things, the crime, these are thoughts as well. So it's what you think that become a reality.
Yeah, thank you for your insight, Akwal. And so seeing engineer is back, I'm going to try to repeat that question once more time. So the question was, how do our daily thought influence the decision we make and the life we ultimately build? Engineer Thon, take it away.
Yes. Okay. Our daily thoughts. How do they influence decisions we make? Success is done every day. If you see a well grown up person, a lady or gentleman, you just admire that person, well fit, but very fit. But if you get to know on which particular day was that fitness developed, that one you just become a very, let's say, very strong young man, just like our brother Queer here.
Six
Uh,
pack,
uh,
six pack.
yeah, oh, six, yes. So how did it happen? There's this power of accumulation. You see, things are done bit by bit, isn't it? Everything you do, just go to the gym and say you want to lose weight and do it on the first day and come back and check whether you lost weight. You realize that you have simply lost, yes, but a very small part of it. So daily thoughts influence the decisions we make in our lives. Because if we have the architecture, then every day we decide which one are we using to build it. You see, now God has given us that architectural design of my life and your life. So it is you to choose on daily basis what are you using to build it. Which books do you acquire the knowledge today to build that? Isn't it? It's because every day's decision actually shapes everything that we do. Because like now, if you see now, character is just simply the grandchild of who? If I were to ask, whose grandchild is a character? Character is somebody who has just come from a thought, and a thought will just come from repeated habits, and then habits now will now shape into which one? Into character. So what we call somebody's character has just come from very, very far. And that's why if somebody wants to prune the character, then there you are dealing with something that is very difficult, because it is rooted in what? In the thought. And that's why if you say that this person is, if you ask, uh, for example, let me give an example of someone who is a thief, isn't it? That person is a thief whether he or she has stolen. Whether she has stolen or not, this person is a thief. Do we agree? Because stealing is simply an act, it's an event. But the ability to think in a way that make that person to do that is what will qualify. That's why we cannot simply say that this person is a very good person. This person is very honest, he cannot steal anything. Okay, you cannot put somebody in an empty room. Like, for instance, I discussed with one of a gentleman, and then he said, if I happen to go to the government position, really, this thing of corruption, I do not like it. I said, how do you know that you do not like it? Yeah, sometimes some people who they have actually the thoughts of stealing, but they don't have the opportunity to steal. Those people, we don't say they are innocent. They are simply those thieves who don't have opportunity to steal. But their thoughts actually make them what? Make them qualify them to be thieves. Only that there's no event to actualize what they are thinking about. So silent architecture that we develop every day, we add value to ourselves every day by having a thought and having habits. What do you do every day? If, for instance, somebody says that I want to be a speaker, I want to be a motivational speaker, I want to be a business person, and all that and all that. Okay, that is very good, and God is happy with that. But what do we do about it every day? That is the thought, isn't it? But what do we use to what other thoughts are you using to develop that thought every day? It also determines how we wake up every day. It also determines what we read every day. It determines how we will work on our health every day. Somebody pray alone. Like somebody says that I want to pray, God, give me very good health. I pray to God to be very healthy. But now the person puts in intake that does not make him healthy in the next 10 years, isn't it? Because being healthy is simply a goal, is simply something that is hanging in 10 years, but how do we actualize every day? So thoughts are very important. So what takes us to 10 years what we accomplish in the next 10 years is simply just the total of what we do. Is just like life is just like, let me say, if I would say, just like, let me just give an example, an exam. Then by the time you find you have completed an exam that is marked of 100%, you begin to answer every question until you reach there. So that goal that is there in the next 10 years is very innocent goal. God is happy about it, and goals do not reject us, by the way. They do not reject anyone. Goals do not reject. So what will simply determines whether we go there or not is what we do every day. So they actually influence who we stay with every day, influence us towards our goals. What we read every day also influences us. There are things we do without knowing, and they actually influence us every day. There is a very good example on daily influence. That is the one that was done by a man in the Bible called Lot. Lot decided to go and settle next to Sodom, isn't it? You know, he did not go to Sodom because the Bible says, and the men of Sodom were wicked. So Lot did not go to Sodom. But by daily influence from Sodom, he found himself in Sodom. By the time angels were coming to rescue him, he was inside, isn't it? So everyday thoughts either take us towards closer to our goals, isn't it? Or they make us static. So every day, each of us has a choice to develop the habits which are taking us towards where we are going. You will really be lying with that wonderful architectural design if you don't do anything daily on that design. Every year will be coming and it remains architectural design. Every year comes architectural design because things don't change, isn't it? Things that they do not necessarily change. It is the thoughts which actually, when implemented, will change things. That's why when people say, no, this world is changing rapidly, technology is changing the world. Technology is not changing anything. It is people thinking about the world that actually use technology to change the world. But technology alone will not change. This AI has not just come up because it wants to come. There are people who are thinking about the world, and their thinking influences the world. Their daily thinking actually influences the world, and the world finds itself where it is because somebody thinking daily about how the world will look like. So if people thinking is actually influencing how the world looks like, then it means that including your goals and my goals, what we do every day, it will influence how we will look like in the next 10 years. If we sow seeds daily of progress, managing our schedules. There was this day when this gentleman came working for the UN, this Gawande Atul. You know, I used to read his book. I thought it was some older man, and he's actually working for the UN. He came up with that checklist manifesto. You have to do something every day. If you are just pushing life with wishful thinking that things will be good, you know, my chance will come. You know, there is something that called my chance will come. You know, when I'm saying that my chance will come, somebody is simply saying, let's say there is this God of probable chances, God that is playing dice, that it falls on you, then you will wake up. And things do not work like that. Yes. It is just intentional decisions on how such things are made. I discussed recently with one of some of my students. I told them that the idea we say that some of the thoughts we say we are leaders of tomorrow, isn't it? A leader, there's nothing like a leader of tomorrow, isn't it? Yes, we are actually leaders daily. We lead our lives by decisions. There is no way you simply just find yourself in Konya without a decision. And decision actually decide our destiny. You see, when we make the decisions now, and then decisions actually that one deciding where we are going. So I am a today, and actually, 𝗍𝗶𝗏, I don't actually let's tell you that you are a leader, isn't it? Yes, in whichever capacity you are a leader, including children that are leaders. This child you see taking care of the other child is a leader. So ideas that leaders of tomorrow is just like That is one of the ideas that makes everyone look towards the presidential position of 𝗧𝗵𝘂𝗶𝘃𝗴𝗵𝗁 or some MP position, because leadership has been in ministerial positions, in the director general's office. It is in all that. So leadership now is some thoughts are making it look like as if it is not closer to us, and that is not right. We lead ourselves by thought, and these thoughts are actually contributing to decisions. And once you make a decision daily, then decisions now begin to decide where you are going. And that's why I always say that those who are going to hell are not those who do not like heaven. They are those who like heaven, but they do what takes them to hell. Because liking is not enough. Liking does not qualify for the decision, for the destination. It is actually doing it every day. I want to be this, and this person begins to do it what? Every day. Because actually, even when you have the roadmap, you are very clear about what you are going to do, then you do it on a daily basis. That's why even Jesus Christ himself, starting his work when he was 30 years old. So meaning that how many years have been placed in preparation? You do three years work and prepare for 30 years. It means that even when you are clear about the goals now, then you begin to have the thoughts which are taking you there, isn't it? And that's why all this to do with where we are. Let us create man in our own image. Before the creation of man, there must have been a thought. Because thought is very powerful. Whatever is destroying the world here now is simply our thoughts. Even the thoughts of the people who are not here. You talk about democracy, this one, Republican and all the philosophies of the world, whether it is capitalism, communism, all that, and how the world is working the way it is working. Somebody else is resting in the grave, but it simply saw the thoughts. That idea, and the idea will simply continue to do what? To do work, isn't it? So daily, we have to do something daily. If I give an example of myself, every day I lead myself to a place where I'm going to play games and all that. That is a decision. And I'm not expecting me to talk of success in 10 years. If there is any success that I should claim after 10 years, I should be champion of that game. Because you cannot be the champion of something else that you have not been preparing for. Let's say, okay, this time I am so energetic and, I want a South Sudanese, let me just join the NBA guys and then say, please, I have the height. You see, I have the height. Let me also play. Because it's not about the height. It is about what have you been doing daily on that height that it should contribute at the international level. That's why those who qualify at the level of NBA and all that, those are people who have been doing a lot of things on daily basis before that tournament. And that is the power of thoughts. When you do something, we think about the people we should be with. We think on the environment. We think on the knowledge that we should consume. And that's why any knowledge that is on this social media, it is open to all of us. Thoughts can even make you eat on the rubbish pit when you are supposed to be eating in a very, very, very well recognized hotel. Give an example. If you go to a 5-star hotel and then you simply go direct to the dustbin when you have the money, that is what is actually happening on the social media. We consume what we consume on the social media, and those ones actually have an impact on us. There is nothing that goes to the brain that does not have an impact. That thing is not there. Anything that goes to the brain must have an impact. And that's why daily habits are very important. And I categorize them into like 3, 4. How I manage my time, the people I am with, isn't it? Because the choice of the people matters. One of the people who chose very well was, I would just say Jesus himself. He left the rest of the people and went and chose those fishermen because his work does not require laziness. Do you know the resilience that fishermen develop? So it was very simple for Jesus just to go to Dumina place and find at the tea place and say, now you are going to be my disciple. You come, you come, you come. So, and Jesus did not hate those people. He loves them. But he loves his mission so much that he has to choose the right people. He has to choose Peter because these are the people who fish every day and they understand that things don't work the way they work and they will work tomorrow. They have developed the resilience, the faith, the hope, and the teamwork. Then he said, now you come and I will now do what? I will make you become fishers of men, isn't it? Sometimes you can even hand the right tool to the wrong person and it will not help. And that's why, as we talk here now, what makes the difference? Which one is a first world country and which one is a third world country is not the amount of resources. It is the amount of thoughts to translate resources into things that can help the people. Otherwise, resources alone, the distance between our actually the poverty levels are determined between the distance between the resources from the ground, the distance between the brain and the ground. So some countries have taken their resources to the brain and they process them from there. Then they can be useful. But otherwise, with the same thoughts, it is very simple to be a very honest, religious beggar sitting on the gold and diamond. Because if thoughts are also doing that, as we finalize on these, daily thoughts determine whether you will have freedom or you will be in chains of slavery. Because if we talk about colonization not anything else, it's just simply thoughts. And that's why when I was in school, someone told me that we African country, we are independent. I told him, we are not independent, isn't it? Because there are different levels of freedom. You can be free from the master, but you are not free from the oppression. Yes. If you are not free from the oppression, you are not free enough. And that's why when the children of Israel, even when they left Egypt, they were still having the behavior and the thinking of Egypt in the wilderness. Yes, because just being given liberation does not make someone free. That's why most of the countries today, they don't struggle much on how they can take your land. They simply sow the seeds of slavery in your minds, and then you will actually be doing that. So the world is conquered simply by thoughts. Even hotels are conquered by thoughts. That's why you see one of the greatest cultures in the world is the French. The French culture, go everywhere in the hotel. You find even their names are being used there because thoughts contribute to culture. They contribute to daily life. You will even behave in a way that you even don't know why you behave the way you behave, because daily thinking has actually contributed to habits, and the habits now take over, and then you now have a character. So it is very important to be intentional on the people I interact with every day, because they contribute to my goals. How I manage time every day, the environment I'm in every day, and the system I have established to achieve that, isn't it? So an NBA player would not simply say that, let me simply wait, and then when it is like one day to go for a tournament, I will practice. Then he would have established the system that contributes losses, isn't it? System is very important because in this life, everything is a product of the system, including us who are here. We are products of the system, isn't it? There is nobody who can be born and simply say, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Then they will run away from their child, because that is not how the system behaves, isn't it? So thank you on that. Daily thoughts influence our actions and destiny.
Amazing. That was a thought-provoking response, Engineer Ton. So, and yeah, I can attest to that. It is our daily thinking, our daily thoughts that will eventually contribute to our success. I normally hear this song from the church, which says, "My future is bright, I will get there." Your future can never be bright if you don't build it on daily basis. Okay, if you just sleep, wake up, you do nothing, after 10 years you will remain the same. There's nothing like future. Your future will never be bright. For you to make that song work for you at personal level, make sure that you do this habit on daily basis. And our thoughts and decisions, they also act like compound interest. the more you keep working on them, and the longer period that they take, at the end of that time or at the end of that duration, people will eventually see the result. And many people, they do this mistake, engineer. You will see them, they will just see the result and they think that the result will come from nowhere, you know. And those results, they come from our daily habit and the decisions that we make on daily basis. So, engineer 𝗪𝗲𝗿, you are welcome. And yeah, we'll continue with the discussion. So yeah, so engineer, yeah, we have heard about this, you know, these thoughts and different decisions that we make on daily basis. And I'm now taking it to another level of where many of young people outside there, they tend to consume a lot of negativity. So how can someone begin transforming that negative thinking into more positive and productive mindset, so that at the end of the day, he or she will excel?
Okay, thank you. I have shed a little light on this one earlier, so I will a little bit precise on this part. You know, there are some of these uh, uh, things which actually prevent people from achieving their potential. And one of them, very, very dangerous, that is the self-doubt. You know, self-doubt can be ignored, but if you look at where the world is now, it has come to where it is because of that self-doubt alone. That when Eve was told that you are not good enough, you need to be like God, that one alone, when Eve began to conceive the idea that I'm not enough, there is another level. So that idea of saying that I'm not enough, isn't it? And that is why Paul says, I can do all things. So we conquer the thoughts of self-doubt by planting the thoughts of positivity. When something tells you that, no, I'm not enough, you simply say, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. It might not necessarily be the same thing, but to change those of negative thinking, we have to plant those good ones, isn't it? Because it is a garden. If it is filled of all negativity, it is a responsibility now to remove all that and plant those good ones. So if you say, I'm not enough, you can say, I can what? I can do all things. And there are other thoughts that you simply say, but will I finish this? Will I finish? Can I finish? And then that's why even the same Paul says that whoever has begun the good works in me will complete it, isn't it? You begin to counter those negative ones with the positive ones, because negative thoughts do not just disappear, isn't it? You simply uproot them, and then you plant the positive ones. You see, and then all that we do, we are more than conquerors. Even him, when he was writing in prison, find that it was in Rome being in prison, then he's writing, we are more conquerors through Jesus Christ, isn't it? Now, somebody who's in prison already, but is thinking positively that, yes, you see. So when you see that life has squeezed us in a corner, then we plant the thoughts. Because whenever we are thinking positive, there is this part of the brain that always releases some, let me say, chemical that always tells us that we are doing well. And that's why if I begin the day with something positive, I said, out of the things I will do today, I will do push-ups as part of my list, and then I do it. Then my brain tells me that I'm progressing, isn't it? Yes. So we always be sowing those seeds of positivity in our life. So we uproot, we remove those patterns. Those are some of the common negatives, but we remove them. No, this is economic crisis. You simply say, yes, it's economic crisis in South Sudan. That is very true. But okay, why I am capable to develop the skills that I can sell outside the country. That would be another thinking. Yes. So yes, you appreciate what is there when there is that doubt, and then this one comes in. There is this fear of failure as also another thing that is always negative. I don't want to fail. And somebody actually commented on that. Albert Einstein says, Anybody who has never made a mistake, never tried anything, has never done anything. So making mistake is not a problem. And actually, we are in the world where failure has been given bad names, isn't it? Yes. It is not considered as if we say by the time we are given those badges of recognition, failure should be given a badge. Is it true? During that time of celebration, when you have really done so well, and then people are coming and saying congratulations, and then they come and give the crown to success. Now success is being given what? Crown. Failure should be appreciated for helping success to achieve that level. Yes, because that is ultimately, that is it. Because we as we move through our lives, we are not clear about the tool we will use. Sometimes we are not even clear about the methodology. Sometimes we are not even clear about many other things. But as we try this and it fails, it actually tells us that it doesn't work. That's why Thomas actually said that don't talk to me about how many times I've actually failed on this electricity. Look at it in terms of how many times I've known that it cannot work. I've actually discovered close to 900 ways that electricity cannot be discovered. Do you see how people begin to shape their minds? Instead of counting 900 ways of 900 ways through which he has failed to discover the electricity, he's actually saying, I have known 900 ways through which electricity cannot be discovered. So, and those 900 ways are very useful. They have actually developed the patience and the resilience. Even the things that we actually did not know, the thing that he did not know, he began to know them. So failure is not a bad person, it's not a bad guy, it's not that thing that people should run away from. By the way, the easiest way to fail is to run away from failure. Yes. Because failure in this process to succeed, they are actually working together. They tell you that this one does not work. Because failure is not a one-time grade that is given called failure. It's simply saying that, am I working with the wrong people? Am I reading the right information? Am I using the right tools? So when we are having something called failure, all that grade, the entire grade of failure, goes to so many other components. Yes. And those components are very important. Time is very important. How we use it to achieve our goals, time is very important. Do we fail there? People are very important. Have we chosen the right people? Tools are very important. Have we chosen the effective tools or the efficient tools? Or we even have the excellent tools and we don't have the knowledge to make them work. You can even have very excellent tools, but you even don't know how they work. So it tells you that please go and get the knowledge, because excellence is simply is not a product. It's simply a result of the process, isn't it? That's why I've repeatedly said here that the thoughts which are always saying that I want to be the best, I don't want to be the best because best is not good enough, isn't it? And I don't encourage any of us to be the best, because best is actually another way of packaging mediocrity. Yes. You go in a class and then you find that out of 100%, somebody has gotten 49. And the university says anybody having less than 50 has failed. And then you say, I was the best in that class. How does it help me? It doesn't help. Best is simply a comparison, saying that we have the let's say we have the good people and the better people. So I feel a little ahead of those who are the good and the better. And that's why marks alone do not serve. So those thoughts say that me, I'm not focusing on the best, I will focus on excellence. Because with excellence now, isn't it? Best can be in any grade. Any mark can be the best. Yes, even if someone gets 10 out of 100 and the rest are getting 0, 1, 1, 1, you can be the best, but you cannot be you cannot be the one who is called excellence. Excellence stands somewhere there. But as we are moving towards perfection now, the highest level we can reach is excellence. So comparison is also another thing that affects us here. And I go again in this thing called competition. You know, people say, We are in a competitive world. Do you know why we are in a competitive world? It's because we are trying only to work on those ideas that people have already think of. They already thought of. World of competition where if everyone has come with something that God has given him or her, why do I compete with you? Let's say we have another speaker here. We are not competing, isn't it? There is something in me that God has given me to come and give. So our potential has been presented just like the space of our height. You see me now, I'm 1.77, not because somebody has stepped on my head to stop me from growing, but that is how far I've reached. So just the same thing applies to us. So some of those negative things that is just like you are grabbing somebody's job. If I don't work hard, they will come and grab mine. No, we have enough space. Yes, I acknowledge competition. Why? Because few people are the ones thinking. So we begin to work on their thoughts. But if everyone is thinking, then really we will actually be doing the transaction of talents. Put on the table what you are good at, and then I will buy it and then put on the table, and all that will be exchanging. But you find that maybe 10% are the one thinking. So then now we have the thinking of being employed by the ones who are thinking. So there is a series of thinking. So those few people, the 10% who are thinking now, the opportunities now, we are all the 90%, we are competing for that. Otherwise, the idea of comparison, I'm competing with that. And some would even say, in this family now, I was the first one to have masters. That is a bad thinking. That's a bad thing. God did not create us like that. That in this county, in this region, in this Payam. What is that Payam? What is that region? When God simply say, go to this world with this package and go and solve that problem. If the Chinese is waiting for me to solve his or her problem, then I'm busy at the Payam level. That I say now, I am the best in the Payam. Those are negative thinking that actually do not make us grow. And there's something that I like with this Miles Monroe. It says one of the things that goes against our success is actual accomplishment. When you feel you have reached, you have arrived, arrival is a bigger problem. When you say you have accomplished, now this is that company that is very successful, that is a problem. The reason as to why you will not even go far, because your brain will tell you you have arrived. You look around Juba here, you look around some branch here in Rumbek and some here and that side, you have arrived. And then God simply say, look, this should be a continental company, but here you are settling at the national level. Now, if I accomplish my PhD next year, you simply say, no, PhD is done. Then God simply say, no, you were not designed for University of Juba and Upper Nile. Oxford is there waiting for you. The Canadian universities are there, the Australian, the European. So we cut ourselves into smaller pieces by the thinking of comparison. Come to this and they appreciate you in their class and say, no, yeah, this one now, I'm the best in this college. Students like me. Yeah, that is very good. But the major college, if you are lecturing that God has blessed you, is a global college that you will be able to transform the lives of people across. So comparison is negative. So if I don't want comparison, I will simply say that God has given you something that no one else will deliver. And that's why Miles says the richest place in the world is the cemetery, because people have gone with the envelopes. They have gone to the cemetery. They have not accomplished that. Why? Because of the thinking, what they do every day and how they compare. When we talk about it, looks like somebody, even up to the highest level in the country, still, God still demands on us. That's why every level I reach, I feel that if God comes and shows me where I should be, then I will even feel ashamed of myself. Because you see, this is where I am, and then God says, yeah, this is the capacity you have. This is what I've deposited in you. Look at a situation whereby you just come and then you have like $10,000, 20, 30, 50 on your account, and then you are desperately in need of money, but you have ATM, but you go inside there and just press $100, and then it comes to you because that's what you have requested. Then you come outside and say, Zurub, 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 Kalam Tagush. But you have money in that account. All that you need is to ask. And that's why there's something beautiful, that whatever you ask in the name of Jesus, there is that power that has been deposited in that power that will simply say, this is what I want. And that is our life. That is like our life. Comparison is negative, isn't it? All that I can do is simply say, how does she add value to me? How do I add value to him? How do we add value to the entire society? And each of us has come with something very unique. Even the twins have come with something very unique. So the last one is procrastination. Delaying action is one also very negative. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it next time. You know, delaying actions is the biggest reason as to why, if you rank 30 problems of the world as far as success is concerned, procrastination is number 2, isn't it? Yes. So the biggest problems of failure, procrastination, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. And the reasons as to why procrastination comes is because if we are with the people who make us look normal when we do it, and then we will always be hanging around there. I will read that book next time. I will get certified next time. Everything is what is next time. You will actually be postponing today's activities. We push them tomorrow, like that. And that's why, if you look at it this way, every time somebody pushes it to tomorrow, it's just simply like you are pushing your dreams closer to the grave every now and then. And some opportunities, once pushed, they will not be maximized. That's why, if that company, the company is focusing on, let's say, sanitizers and the mask, if they decide to produce the volume they produce in 2020 today, yes, they have produced products, but timeliness matters as well. There are opportunities, problems to be solved at that particular time. And so if I push, then so procrastination. So as we summarize on this, how do you work on procrastination? Do something every day and begin with a simpler one. Something that tells you that you have done something. Have a list on daily basis. Say, this is what I want to do today to accomplish my goals. Divide the list into 3. There are those ones which are the core. If I don't do this one, I will not reach that. An NBA player will simply say, if I don't practice every day, isn't it, I will not reach that. So that is a core thing. You know, today will come competing with visiting family members and all that. It will first go for that practice, and then will come and also visit later. That is how we work on procrastination. If you want to avoid negative consequences on procrastination, we come around people who are busy. You know, if you are around the people who say, this time it is going to rain, I am going to plant very big garden, I'm going to plant that one, chances are high that you will not do anything. But if you come closer to people who are holding their tools and they are saying, today I'm going to do something, at least let me go and do something at least. There, when we are with the people who do something, we will also do it. That's why even at the university, when I wanted, let's say, when I was studying, I wanted to work on this procrastination, I must place myself in the library. Because when you are in the library and see everybody is silent, isn't it? You want to be taken off now. I've left the environment where I could work on my music, because this environment says that no loud what? No loud music. The environment where friends could easily just visit me anytime. This is an environment now, everybody for serious business. Put myself in an environment that encourages me to do what? To work. So those negative thoughts can be countered by positive thoughts. And those are intentionally chosen every day. Every negative thoughts, there must be a replacement. If say I am not good enough, say I can learn this tool to improve my life, isn't it? I'm not as highly educated as all that. And then you can say, this is what I can do. You know, there must be that. That is how we can be removing those ones slowly by slowly. Somebody say, I'm doomed. How do we replace those ones? Simply say, they say, I am fearfully and wonderfully done what? Wonderfully made, isn't it? You see, something that gives you the courage that you have the brain, we have the intellectual capacity. All that I need is to do some. So every day, negative thought patterns, replacement, positive thoughts. Self doubt that I am not enough. Simply say, I can do this. God has created me in the image of God and I can do all things. Paul was not saying because things were easier. When there is fear of failure, you simply say, anybody who has never failed, never tried anything. That's why even when you see children fall, every time they keep on falling, and then the parents are happy because they know that is the process. But when you say, no, 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 I don't want my child to fall, this is too much. It is better you be best at crawling. How many of us will go for that? Yeah, because that falling, the subsequent falling now is actually, let's say, is actually a preparation towards stability, isn't it? And that's why now, if people were to focus on the best, do you know some of us would be best at sitting from the time we were children? That this is best. Yes, there's that level where you would even be the best at sitting. You are a very stable child, and that's all. But there's another level. You can crawl, isn't it? And also you be the best at that. And then there's another level until human beings are tired at the best, and then they say we go for excellence. That's why planes came in, because if people were focusing on the best, the world would not be where it is, because there are always three things, or there is always that thing that human intention is attracted to. So, and that is where we will simply say negative thoughts every day have to be replaced with a positive thought. Every negative thought, remove it. I'm not, let's say simply say, I came from the poor background. Then you simply say that God has given me this opportunity not to extend that poverty to the next generation. I can be the what? I can be the changing agent, an agent of change. Replace it with that. You know, I'm not highly educated and all that. Simply say problems are not educated, isn't it? And that's why you even see even the highly educated people, they seek solutions, isn't it? So problem is not educated. Problem is a problem. It requires what? A solution. And that's why when people go to eat in the hotel, they don't ask, which professor has this hotel? Do they ask? No, they don't ask. They say, is food nice? Is it delicious? That's it. Because they want, so when somebody has a mindset, they're thinking that I'm not highly educated, I have this, my career is not marketable and all that. Look at the problem. Problem is never educated. Problem is a problem, and it requires a solution. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, engineer. I don't know whether Kir, are you there?
I'm there.
Okay. Let me jump in and at least express something about what Engineer Thon has just said. You know, I'm really inspired about how you have gone at least of a length about this. You know something that I've taken from that is that you need to be self-aware. You need to have this ability to identify that these are negative thoughts, and if you have that ability, then you will definitely change them with alternatives. And instead of you maybe accepting them as facts, and you say, you normalize it, saying, it's just normal, so I need to deal with it. You need to replace such negative thoughts with positive ones, and that's how you get to continue with your life. So it's really inspiring, and I've taken that one very well. It's a good line. You need to set some small. It's not bad. You have the abilities. Of course, you're human. So if you think uh, this, you cannot do this, then you need to set some small goals that you can achieve and work on them. That's how you get to keep yourself busy instead of you giving up and you say, yeah, I cannot continue here, and let me normalize it. It has happened to so and so. If it has happened to engineer Queer, then I should accept it as a fact that, yeah, it's something that is very normal. Now you need to venture into another course and something that you can do. So thank you, engineer. I've learned a lot there.
Impressive. So I honestly appreciate both your input. I'm just drinking from the cup of wise men, actually. So I honestly appreciate both of you for your, thought on that uh, question that I have asked. So now I guess we are time, but we will try to wrap up as much as possible. So we are currently left with two questions, and I would like you to combine these two questions. The first question is related to the role, the family, friends, social media entirely, and our environment play in shaping our mindset. And if you could also share with us, because many people they learn through personal life and personal experience. So, can you share a personal experience where changing your mindset change the outcome of your life or career in general?
All right, thank you. The role of do family, friends, social media, and other environment play in shaping our mindset? Yeah, that is it. As we said earlier on, social media is simply we actually feed from that. We feed our minds. Actually, social media is one of the hotels for the mind. This is where we get food for the mind. Whatever it is, we consume. Whatever we see, that is what we consume. So we are intentional on whether we choose garbage or we choose something that is, let's say, that has the nutrients for success. Yes, because there is a lot. Social media is just, let's say, it's a community. Just like we don't eat food, we eat choices, isn't it? Do we agree? We don't eat food, we need choices. That's why if it is only food, even at the dustbin, there is something that can be eaten. That's why when you see somebody eating at the dustbin, we'll say this person upstairs is not right. That is not mentally okay. But we actually know that that is food. But because we don't eat food, we eat choices, then choices will translate into what we now take. Then that's when we say, this is what I will eat, and this is what I will not eat. So social media is a platform where we will simply say, this is where I'm going, isn't it? If I am if I'm let's say I'm developing my architectural design, but I'm now building my storage building, what do I need? If I'm supposed to use bricks, I don't choose grass, isn't it? If I'm supposed to use other elements, so I have to be intentional about what I choose. So social media has a lot of wonderful things, but it also has those things which are negative. So the choice is that if I want to, if I choose what takes me to my destination. That's why whatever encourages me, personally, I look at the religious perspective, isn't it? I study a lot on messages, gospel, isn't it? I listen to music that encourages me in Christian journey. I listen to the messages that actually tell me that, Ton, you can do this, isn't it? If there's that is where I focus on. But for example, if I find somebody there's an argument between 𝗂𝗲𝗿 and Akwal, and then you're exchanging, that is not for me. It's not helping me to go to that destination. So in as much as I respect that you have your own feelings, but it is not helping me going there. That's why at the bus park I can leave people arguing because now it is time for me to go, isn't it? Otherwise, if I choose to be around, I will be wasting my time. So there are things that I choose. This is what I need to take, and this is what I should not. This is what I should not take. Family plays a role, isn't it? Because when we have a mindset, a positive mindset, we also influence the family, and family also influence us. So those are also gardeners in the family. Those are people who are also sowing these thoughts in their gardens. So the more you have others who are so positive, then you have an opportunity now to have so many gardens with better plants in them. So family, friends also encourage during the time when things are not working well, isn't it? Because we need an encouragement when things are not going the way they should go. I'm just talking in the context of how people say it, because the way they should go is one of the words that has been packaged and and has been sold widely. But there's nothing like things should go this way. No, direction is direction, isn't it? If the tools are taking you to this particular direction, like going to the hospital and say, no, negative in the hospital is good, isn't it? Positive in the hospital is what? Is bad. That is how the medical society has worded it. When you say, oh, no, I went for testing malaria and then I was found positive, you will probably say, yeah. You simply say, no, I was positive. But if you are negative, say, yeah, I was negative, isn't it? And you are okay because the world has simply recognized negative in the medical environment means good. But now, come and you get results negative. You go for an interview. Let's say you apply for a job, go for an interview, and then they say that message, they say, thank you for, well, actually, when they thank you, you know that things are bad, isn't it? Because this is where they have to first massage your brain so that you don't go crazy. They have to first say a lot.
They will tell you, we regret to inform you.
And then at the end, they will put it inside there, we regret. So you will consider that is negative, isn't it? They say this is negative. In employment environment, anything negative is bad. But that is how in the world they have been given labels. But in the real sense, I would say that this one is positive. It's simply telling me there's something that I'm not doing. Because there was a time I used to apply for this chevening scholarship. Until I got it, the time I was going to Carnegie and I had to compare. There was something that I was not doing. Every time it comes negative, then this friend of ours say, no, tribalism in this country, tribalism in this country. I say, my friend, how does tribalism happen in the UK? I was trying to question these things. Somebody sitting in London there and simply say, I'm a Dinka in London. How? Isn't it? I began to question. I said, no, there's something that we are not doing. Until I came across one of the 𝗪𝗂𝗏, somebody, an alumni of that system. And then we started saying, man, this is how your essay is. This is what you are not doing right. Is it? So I went through that, and then it gave me an opportunity to research a lot about that scholarly society. How is this statement of purpose written? To the point that when I write one, I know I will be taken. But it did not just come. It came because I did not do it right. That was negative, isn't it? But how is this negative helping me to learn more? Isn't it? Because it is not just, you just throw something and then it goes through. Sometimes when you don't know it, it simply tells you that methodology is not right, this part is not right, this part is not. And then I come and say, okay, how can I improve them? Then I will go and then begin to improve. So family members now will encourage in that process. Say, my friend, don't worry. Yes. So what you need to do here, these results are first study again and see what is it that you did not do. Because there are family members who tell people, no, for you are very smart. These guys are just, these guys are not what? Are not serious. When they massage your ego now, you begin to sleep. But yet they took somebody who has CPA and no one has told you, brother, now this time now go for certification. It could be this a gap in this certification. A time when you feel like the one who has been given the job is the one who does not deserve. And when you meet with that person, you even say, please, you deserve what? You deserve that what? That job. So families, they now encourage us in the process. They say, please, you do it again. Isn't it? Yes. It is not one try. You just simply go and throw it and then you give us, do it again. Isn't it? Is it the knowledge? Is it how you design that? So family actually help. They also, when you have the doubt, you say, my brother, don't doubt yourself. You are capable. So what we need to do here is let us see what we can do around this process. So the family members also encourage in that process. So as you sow the seeds of success, family members also begin to sow those seeds, the thoughts, and now they actually enable you. Somebody who comes with thoughts of encouragement now is actually sowing those good ones in your garden. But others will simply say, I remember one was told, he went with a friend and said, this guy went and then almost every course is a supplement. I say, my friend, education is not for everybody. Now, is that a good one? So, my brother, if education is not for you, just go and marry, isn't it? You see that? So that person is actually sowing seeds of discouragement. But if this person simply says, please, what you need to do, you need to change the group. You need to be so much engaged in group discussions, this business of yours has taken you so much. So always attend this one regularly. Always get the lecture notes timely. I will recommend to you some of the books. Like that now, you are sowing those seeds, then you are encouraging that person in a journey. Because all of us, we are standing on shoulders of giants, whether we see them directly or they are influencing us indirectly. If this one of the mindset share the personal experience, I have so many, but I will just share one, whether it is around school or another environment. I would just start with the one recently. I went to that Mandela scholarship, and I saw it was going to take longer time than I expected. So I said, now what I'm going to do, let me use this leave. I was given leave at the 3 years university. I study leave. Let me use this leave now, and then I get 2 masters. Then one person told me, no, this is not what? This is not possible. Here, even these 3 years, you will finish them, and you would never have even what? I've even graduated. I said, okay. That's why I always come up with that statement. I know all of us, an architectural design, God has developed that design, and then has placed on your table, and also placed on my table. And I always say, I cannot allow you to limit me because I developed me, isn't it? That is a simple statement. It is me to make me, isn't it? Because God has no problem to be that wonderful person he wants. He has designed the architectural design. So what he simply wants, use the materials that you want. So I simply say, okay. So I did first year, I did the coursework and all that. Then I left. As I was doing the thesis for this other institution, I was also studying the other program that side. And at the end, because my brain told me that, oh, since you have started, when you believe in something, all your mental capacity will be mobilized to support that. I had believed that I'm capable. And my capability is not from the perspective of I'm better than the rest of the students. No. When my better plants are in my garden, it does not mean that I am better than them. It's simply I chose to sow them, to sow those seeds. So I did that, and then when I graduated this, and so within roughly 2.5 years, I had actually completed that. But there are very wonderful people, very intelligent people who have something, who haven't done better than that, but they have simply decided to sow seeds of negativity in their lives. And so what actually grows in their gardens are seeds of negativity. Yes. So that is that part of changing mindset. Then the one that I have always been sharing earlier was when I was young, and that was by an influence from my father. Because many of you here, I think you know that in the class of 60, I was competing for the number 59 and number 60. So my problem was not the guy in number 1. My problem was the guy in number 59. Because I wanted to be number 59, and this guy comes and actually this person knows himself. He's one of the people who went abroad. So we used to compete from behind. If he become number 59 this time, I complain why he has taken number 1. Because our number 1 was in number 59. So I wanted him to be 60 and then I'd be that. So it reached a point where things were just moving. Were moving like that. Until these guys, they reached up to those who were in P1. I know, I think now, I don't know whether I'm blessed with people who know what P note is. I was in P note. I don't know what it means, but I was there. It was P note and then P1. You know, Chol, now the way you are laughing, it's like at least you know, if it is not you, you might not. Your neighbor is one. So I was in P note. People are passing. They are all going and all that. Then in the environment here, seeds of negativity are sown. Then they said, "Son of Isaiah, the head is empty. His head is not good. It's empty." So I began to take that as reality, as my definition. And I felt that my head was very empty, isn't it? I was living the reality of these thoughts which people were sowing in my life at a young age. Then I began to have that until the point when my dad called me and said, "Ton, why are you failing? Those who were together in P3 and they have a heading, but me, I'm still down there." I did not have an answer. Then he said, "You know what? You are very intelligent. Remember, we are talking about thoughts. You are very intelligent. The only problem, you play too much. So what we are going to do, you will be reading for only 1 hour, and then the rest of the time you will play." Then I saw that my dad had actually is having confidence in me that I'm very intelligent. When almost everybody around seeing that there's something wrong with my head, so my brain began to open up. So thoughts from other people now, they also influence you. When you don't believe in yourself, believe in someone who believes in you. Then now I picked up from there. The same brain with the same negative that has been put on me. I don't know what happened. I don't know, but all that I knew what happened. If there's a class that I studied was P5, primary 5 and primary 7, and I was producing very wonderful results. Almost I would combine different classes the same year and I would get very, very excellent results, number one and just around there. If you look at my studies, much of my time I would combine, even O level. I doubt whether there's a class where I've ever studied like all 4 years. I would study, miss 1 year, and I would still produce the best results. What changed? Simply somebody has been sowing the thoughts of positivity in my life. So when I see that these ones are working, I began to anchor, and that I've actually mastered that. I've mastered that. Even when people are saying that it is not possible, I know it is what? It is possible. Even at the university, what I was supposed to do for 5 years, I did it in 3 years. So I begin to have, this is around studies. So at times it becomes challenging for you really to believe in yourself. But when you get an opportunity to get that person who believes in you, use that as to gain that stamina until you reach that point when you believe in yourself. That's why Paul says, "Imitate me as I imitate Christ." A time came when people were not understanding his message, who Christ is. So just do exactly what I do. And then because I'm following Christ, and then you also follow me, isn't it? So when you follow those who follow them, you do exactly that. So I brought this one in the line of positive thinking and sowing seeds. You sow seeds in your life, positive seeds, isn't it? If there is that person who is sowing in you, please hang on that person and believe in that person who believes in you until you actualize your belief. Right now, it is no longer my dad who now presents that level of belief. It is me now who has actually mastered it, has worked. You know, I remember the time I did it for primary 3. Went for primary 3, term 1, I got number 1. I said, this thing is working. I went to primary 4, the same year I got number 1. So I began to say that this head is what? This head is working. I remember it is not working better than the rest, isn't it? Because all of us, we are given 100%. The one who was given 1 talent, the one was given 2, the one given 5, all of them mount to 100%. 1 over 1 is 100, 2 over 2 is 100, is 100%, 5 out of 5 is 100%. So it depends on how you, the blame on the master was not, why did you not make it to 5? No, that was not his problem, but double that. If you have 1, make them 2. If you have 2, make them 4, like that. If you have 5. So the idea, what I'm trying to say here, these thoughts of I am better than this, better than that, better than this, and all that, that one there is not. All that we do, get the thoughts. So as we conclude, believing sometimes can be a challenge. And that's why you see that elephants are in the forest, but with all the weight, with all the size and all that, but still leadership has been outsourced to the lion. Somebody who simply says, I'm not intelligent, I know. I'm not very fast, that one I know. I'm not huge, but yes, I know. But I can lead the jungle with what I have. Those are the thoughts of positivity. We don't need to have everything for us to accomplish what God has designed in us. If we see an ego is not necessarily the smartest, but if it has the capacity that this is where it should be, that even when the storms are coming, instead of an ego running away from the storm, say, these storms are meant to train me. Isn't it? Yes. So ego looks at challenges as opportunities for excellence. Let me just go, when storms are coming very hard, that one is meant for me. Because we are not created as those soft people who will simply just go through the tarmac road of success. That is not how things work. We were created with the ability and with the intelligence to thrive even amid these challenges. Believe in the people who believe in you, and then now gain your stamina as time goes on. Family members, they also help sow the seeds of success. And as you sow, somebody sows positivity in your garden, then now the speed at which you catch up in your roadmap to your vision becomes speedy and becomes highly realistic, because you would have reduced the constraints around that. And remember, as we do it, if your life is being changed by thoughts of others, then you also deposit thoughts of positivity in the lives of other people. And whenever there are challenges, you say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And even Paul said that rejoice in tribulations. So, because tribulations are not simply meant that, no. Even when things are very hard, that hard life is actually training people to be very wonderful people. That's why I said that even the situation now in South Sudan, we can convert into a training ground. Because at the time when in 2009, 2010, South Sudan community, we do not know what is economics, isn't it? Money was just floating everywhere. You see, you go to the bus, and then inside the bus now somebody says like this, then Query is the one paying all of us in the bus. But right now, it has reduced, isn't it? Isn't it? Money has now come to the point when it is money. And what the jobs that we did not want to do, we are now doing them. So even that negative environment, it has some level of training. And the message that actually remains. Thank you.
That was very well put, engineer, and I sincerely appreciate you for sharing your life journey and your life story with us, specifically in the areas of being failure. Let me just use it temporarily, and you are not failure. So yeah, yeah. Now I will give it to those of Akwal and 𝗠𝗶𝗏, but I'll start with Akwal. Philip, you could give your U-turn message to our audience, and as you are also giving out your U-turn message to the audience, I would like you to touch around 20% on this mentality whereby, majority of people, you will find them that they have the motivation, but they don't put some work into it. They don't put some action to it. Even some people, they go to the extent of singing, "Ache yi buko nyol baba quoted. Ache yi buko nyol kayinto." They want to blame God. And, a lot of people, they will just sit down and they are motivated, but they don't want to put some action. So you can try some uh, percentage on that. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. I was even thinking about that because many of us here are blaming devil for our failures. No, when we blame our ancestors, no, quite sure, no, it's your generational curse. And now, did you never go and lose that blame or I lose that beg? But listening today carefully about the power of thought and how engineers put everything, and even trying to reflect within myself. I never have heard about this multiple times, read in book, The Power of Positive Thinking, the growth mindset. But sometimes now, bad thing, can we run when we trust, run when very close friend, it has more weight. And Kichi thought to discuss today and Leonin to think about thought, and three things came to my mind. One thing Chaping Nongton is that thoughts or kayuke transcend boundaries. A thought pana get and impacted Africa or all over the world. Same a thought ability to panyago and the brand be impact here.
Yes.
Especially right now with technology, any small thought it will act on can impact everyone. I think when you got Trump where to Jalwell, financial system, I talk a kind of Wall Street, no matter economy area, because a thought that so thought transcends boundaries. Another very important thing is that thought are eternal. A lot of us are living thought thought about centuries years ago in being an engineer like thoughts about democracy thought about culture in wagar not in a place no communal like a culture. This is not a culture and I think you need to heaven or to in hell there. We don't know, but those thoughts are still holding us hostage and we are living by them. And so that is very powerful. But most importantly, the third one is that thoughts are universal and are democratic. Thought these as thoughts. Everywhere right now we are thinking. The difference, which is very clear, that a quality of our thoughts different, right? The level of thinking is different. Can quite poor, mid level of thinking can quite different. Can our level or our quality of thinking now we break down based on so many things. And one thing that the spirit Louis engineer to cast out in us today is that spirit of negative thinking, right? Of thinking in defeated, of thinking in a victim, of thinking, because even in those who have given up life, who are asking God, but in South Sudan, there are no people that are not praying for that. They are thinking of how to even make their life better, right? Because while economy there's people that are succeeding, but I'm not going to know before why our life is miserable. Can't you quit the acting there? And you don't go band after we kind of marriage and got we blame. But I think that a quality of thinking related into that marriage, and that quality of thinking can make a life better. Randa, thinking, oh, maybe they are a young rule. We are part of those thinking. Oh my goodness, every day, you go up in them. But they are young people who are doing well, somewhere. Cotton in that economy, who are doing it. So it's about our thought. If you choose to put blame thought on your mind, okay, your life will be upside down. But if you put positive thinking into your mind, okay, your life can change. And that is the major takeaway. And my U10 message is, regardless of what place to in life, you can think your way out of it. Because thought are very powerful. And natural ego la ngari agumut pa ino pa na ger bala parliament or rooms kaya talk a symbol of wisdom. Like what I hear no magumut. A symbol of wisdom because people think here agumut a wise with those big eyes. But back home when I grew up, agumut a symbol of witchcraft. In fact, a symbol of rich because we think about that and it depends on go to the benefits mama do some ritual and ritual because go would be take a pan or but people don't care about maybe no right or no that's the thinking and because we believe that is it it's actually that when I go to take pan do we you'll hear bad news but here you take a go in pan you thank God because something window I just take pandu opportunities I just take pandu ideas that I've been so now our U-turn message is please let's think positively of things and positive things will come to our life. Thank you and take it back engineer George.
Thank you, Okol. You know, well, wisdom, I share kind of work. Yeah. Oh, na ya gumu dia symbol of wisdom. My few kawan, jadi kawan ya few conference. Aci in vain. So, Engineer Chol, take it away.
And thank you, Engineer Quer, for the very wonderful moderation and Engineer Thon. Which you know, there's one thing that people have failed to identify, and I always think that manadakian failure is opposite of success. So which means once you fail doing something today, you'll definitely conclude that I'm a failure. That's not it. You know, failures always of 10 times. I would say it, manadakian. It's something that you encounter like when you want when in the process of you becoming better of yourself, you know. So which means you need to take it as something good and think through how do I overcome this, you know. Anong ko ju man ke na anjal ba cho te ka ju jare ne lo ne ko ju ngani as well let me be core opportunities like for studies, other studies, scholarships. Mi ju man ira ra na chi cha kon te ba ye lo ba de loy like the entire application process a little bit and a little below. So in ajal to ngala na ajal le man ku le yen ko ba na ye ki yin wan ga ba lo ga le nge da di nge ba ki jal ka pe bio ka chi ko ba ko and how do you really get to learn can I enter that experience and right now I don't think I will ever do it again but entire process about how upon myself because anong ko chan ke lo last trimester and the application is got doro aga chagalo go kala with listed for financial aid go ke financial aid, you know. So go go berge ba gari ada berge gar long essays ke kor konong video suppose bang ade berge kwani script kabi ngade and I also thought through yeah there alaba mission ran alaba alwell because our university is a mission oriented university, you see, and had to do a lot when that time came in, like when videos y'all record, you know, the lack that confidence, like brand the key like in will, you see, because I check and some of them I came through a like a video can be na chicken ladi na long time go cover doping. Kalirana no jaloya. Koko chiki de ya pinga le do ga da pin ko lor ku ngadi takada pe ku analyze be okay, through and some didn't make it, and now that one sometimes makes me question myself, like, and I think life choices that you make, you know, sometimes don't be surprised if na le pidu le I need to learn because now you again you cannot do that one. You chill mean get to dinbilo thing you're gonna be peer of a gammon again you can have the ability to do how will you really get that opportunity. You're not capable of that. So sometimes we need to see our life choices. We need to at least get ourselves involved in everything. And that's how you get to better yourself and see the better version of yourself. So, okay, now, I can do that. You can do that in our community. Let me say, community wise, how it is. It's something that is very common and it's a problem, a huge problem. We lack the ability to identify that what we are doing is really bad and try to compare, try to weigh things, and you'll see yourself through. So thank you. It's really a good discussion and something that really stood out with me today. I didn't know about these quotes of Albert Einstein saying that anyone who has never made any mistake, which mean has never tried anything. So which mean a mistake that you make, in your man, you have really taken that courage to do something. So it's something that will really go with me, and I will pin it down somewhere to always look at it. And thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you so much for your words and for your message, you turn message to our audience. You know, your words were really nice, and I guess a lot of our audience they will have something to take home. So yeah, I would now give 1 minute to Engineer Thon to give his U-turn message, and before that, I would like also to give mine. You know, nowadays a lot of people always blame their ancestors, their parent, like Akwal put it before that majority of youth nowadays they will always have an excuse that I came from a poor background. You know, there's one pastor I really like his preaching. His name is Dr. Emmanuel Olumide. He's a Nigerian. So he always say that when you are 18, you are the background. So when you are 18 and above, so don't blame anyone. You are the background. So don't say that I came from a poor background, because you are now capable to change the story. Okay. So if you are 18 there and you are still blaming your background, you are blaming yourself because you are now the background. Engineer, take it away.
Thank you, Yutan family, and thank you for all that you have shared. So today, what we have talked about is how we can transform our lives using our thoughts. And thoughts are powerful. Those ones are the ones we sow in our lives every day. So let us continue to sow the seeds of positivity, replacing the I can't with I can learn. Also replacing fear with faith and effort. Also be having gratitude, because when you have the level of gratitude, you always show that something good about your life is taking place. You know, there are cases where people forget about good things that have ever happened to them, so they will look like they are entirely failures. So we need to practice that and always be thinking positive by replacing negative thoughts with the positive ones. Work with the family members to encourage those thoughts together as we do that. I remember for, let's say, thoughts, they help us as we have the garden architectural design that God has given us. But the action now is actually the actualization. Yes, you can have the architectural design for so many years, centuries, and all that. If the people of that building do not actually go on the ground and begin to do that work. Those who do with self doubt should be replaced with I can. And that's why we have some of the wonderful words that we shared earlier on. Even somebody who was amid his challenges, like Paul would say, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. And whenever he even has challenges, he would even say, please rejoice in tribulations. Because some of the challenges we go through, they tell us that no, we don't have enough knowledge to encounter that. They give us an indication that the methodology is not right. They also tell us that this is not the time we are doing it. It is also telling that we need people and we need knowledge and all that. So let us embrace the positive thoughts that when there is let's say a feedback is feedback, regardless of the levels the world has placed on feedback. Feedback is always telling us what is not going to that direction, and let us as well embrace failure as a partner in the process, because it is actually failure that helps us succeed, because failure tells us what is not working, isn't it? It's telling us that the people we should distance from our lives. It's also telling us what we should be. So let us remove the names that community has given on failure, and we give it good name. So failure should be called honorable, as the honorable partner in this process. And as we all do this together, each of us will be having actualized, physical implemented design of the building that God has deposited in all of us. And when we have done that, not only are we successful, but people will be influenced through our lives, because they will see that architectural design can be converted into the physical implementation of that through the choices we make daily. Choose a thought, because the thought will also choose the habits, and the habits will also choose the character that we will also be living. Positive thoughts will also implement the positive habits, and the positive habits will also have the positive character. And those combination of the habits that we have that makes up their character will enable us to work on our architectural design to maximize the reason as to why God has given you or me the life that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, engineer, and thank you, 𝗍𝗶𝗃, for joining us also today, as indeed 𝗍𝗵𝗃 and our sister Adij Alier. To our audience, as we come to the end of this amazing and fruitful discussion, we are reminded that our thoughts are the foundation of our action, our decision, and ultimately our future. A positive mindset does not mean life will always be easy, but it gives us the strength to face challenges with courage, learn from failures, and seize every opportunity for growth. Let us choose to think with purpose, act with confidence, and believe in the limitless potential that is created within us. Transform your thought, transform your life. Bye-bye.
As we come to the end of this conversation, I just want to take a moment to remind you that the growth doesn't happen without taking a new direction. So if there is a message that has given you some clarity, some courage, or even a little bit of push towards the positive direction, I want you to take that with you, sit with it, go offline with it, and encourage you to continue to invest in your personal growth, and say thank you for taking the time to be here for yourself and for the community, for the growth of the community. The U-Turn is not just a show, it's a community where real talk, real growth, and real U-Turn happens. So until next time, stay empowered, stay intentional, and never be afraid to make a U-Turn. Thanks. Bye.